Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how was the weekend? So, congratulations again on the both wins. I mean, we had one on Thursday, and then you did really well in that thing. I know you put a lot of
Yeah,
thought.
let me tell you, like I needed a vacation. I mean, I talked about this a little in the live stream. I spent more time on that MMA qualifier from
Yeah,
all the different times I had to qualify to the sweating my lineup builds like all week long for the second to last one. Dude, I've been sweating that lineup from this past Saturday literally like for 2.5 weeks. I've been going back and forth on it before the odds even came out because they announced in advance who the fighters are going to be and stuff.
yeah.
And then I went back. I watched, absorbed more content. Like then I found freaking more MMA content out there that I didn't even know existed. And just I was down to a couple of 2x2s right down to the end. I was um, very calculated, and then I was completely satisfied at the end of the day with what I did. And ended up having some really really good leverage in a fight later on in the card. Which if that had come in, I would have been in contention for first, honestly.
Yeah.
But it was sort of 2-1 favorite, underdog. I didn't expect it to win. And then after that loss, it looked like really grim. And then I got really fortunate. Some fighter that a couple of people owned busted, and then another total fight busted. It was the equivalent of two high owned pitchers getting rained out, which helped me. And so I ended up like sort of laddering or being in a position to get third if the main event worked out the way I wanted it to, which it did. So that was really big. I was 100% right with what the two multi-entry people were going to do. I knew exactly how people were going to play, and I played leverage on that one key fight, and I took the lower owned guy, and he totally smashed. So I was very very happy with it. And listen, I was disappointed I wasn't able to go, obviously, but next time.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and obviously we talked about the baseball already next week. I'm ready to get back into this. So I have a question.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Strider and Verlander? That's what I want to know.
So Strider, I have as my main pitcher on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I'm not using that much of him. Um, and where I'm using him, I'm playing Castillo also. Just double spending up in those. But I'm higher on Heaney and Cease slightly than I am Verlander, just because one, I think the strikeout upside is tremendous, and I think that they will be they're going to be owned. I mean, like both, whatever's going to be owned. It's kind of weird the projections like have the ownership so spread out, which I wasn't really. It's spread more out throughout the day. Like Strider originally, it was looking at like 45% ownership, and now everything is sort of more in the 20s. Initially, that was partly why I like Season Heaney because I thought they would be lower owned, and I still think they might be. But I thought that playing for upside, that's sort of the general C's, Heaney, Verlander, and Reed Detmers are sort of
Well,
the main.
I'm glad you said it. That's pretty much precisely what I said when I did the live stream today.
Yeah,
That although Verlander on a point per dollar basis, looked better than all those other SP2s, the K upside of say Cease and Heaney made me want to play them more. So we're on the same page as far as that goes. Where
yeah,
do you put Detmers in this mix?
just behind them,
Yeah, I
just
think that's fair.
just a little. He's been really, really good, and he deserves a little credit. The White Sox, as we know, hit lefties much better than they hit righties. And it wouldn't surprise me if he struggled tonight. And I don't mind getting some White Sox in where you're not playing Detmers. What are you doing about as far as
Yeah,
stats?
so I don't know. So first of all, the hitting I'm not as concerned about. I can go a lot of different ways with hitting. I'm really trying to make I can play the Mets. I can play the White Sox. I can play the Orioles. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of stuff I could do. But what I really want to kind of hone it in on is the pitching because I had several different builds I was going to do. Like listen, when I run SaberSim, I get like 80% Strider, like 1,000,000% Verlander, and then the Cease and whatever. I had a build which I was really going to consider where I just basically X'd out both Strider and Verlander
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of rolled with the rest. And then I was going to consider even going even further and just Xing out Castillo also and just going with the mid range cheapo, just the
Yeah,
Haynes, Detmers, and just kind of just roll with it that way. And, and, and those pitching decisions are going to See, like I don't necessarily want a particular stack. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like need to get to a particular stack. Like, oh, if I do this, then I can certainly play Texas, or if I do this, then I can certainly play whatever. I'll be happy to get whatever I get, given my pitching. Like, so if I pay down for the pitching, then I'll get, then I'll play Seager at 6,200, and you know what I mean, and or whatever. But I just don't know what I want to do. I was hoping that
well, part of what's throwing me off with the stacks is that I can't believe on a 6-game slate that it's really this spread out. I just don't. Something's wrong with the projections. There's no way no hitter is going to be above 11% owned. It's just, I mean, obviously in any.
I mean, isn't Westberg going to be like really, really popular?
I mean, I'm looking at your projection. I'm looking at Goldie's, and
I know.
It's just nobody's. I can't imagine what's going on with the projections out there that's making them this.
Like, I'm seeing Kevin Newman at like 19%. There's no way he's going to be higher owned than Westberg, is he?
You have Kevin. I see on yours. I'm looking at. You don't have anybody above 10% owned.
Oh no, I'm looking at Kevin Newman at 19% in my most recent draft.
Oh, that's weird. I just refreshed it. Let me see. Yeah, I still have that.
That's weird. Maybe it's not showing up right. Got to talk to Scans about this. I don't know what to tell you.
No, but I mean, it's not his fault. This is actually the projections that I'm seeing. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let's see if it updated. No, it's still got. This is not his. This is. I mean, just in general. I'm just looking. It's more just in general that just how spread out it all.
Well, no, but on the site, that's what it says.
I mean, everybody, even SaberSim doesn't have anybody projected over 10%.
No, but I'm not. I don't care about SaberSim. I care about like what's showing up is because I updated this.
Yeah, I'm looking at yours right now, but sometimes it takes a half hour or so or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it updated it before when you did it because I was on and I was looking at it. I do like a couple stacks tonight, and again, I was playing a little bit the ownership game, and maybe I don't need to do that because I thought Seattle would be a lower owned stack that I certainly could get behind. I like trying to attack Trevor Williams when I can because I think that he gives up home runs. He can.
I'll be right back. I got to get online. I got to see this thing.
All right, and then the other stack that I'm probably heaviest on is Texas. It's just a little bit hard to get them in, which also leads more to the middling pitcher build. I don't mind Atlanta, the Mets, Baltimore, but I'm not getting to as much of them as I am Texas and Seattle as of right now. And then the other team I like for value is Detroit. If you're not playing Heaney, I think playing Detroit is a pretty good idea. We know the deal with Heaney. We've been through this a million times, and I personally will probably just be very, very high on that Detroit side.
Yeah, I had Detroit as like my main stack in my big buy-in for like
why not?
several hours today.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mostly have them as mini stacks, but I do have some full stacks, and I think that it's obviously completely reasonable.
Just so everybody knows. Yeah, now I thought I was hallucinating here. So in my projections, I do have these guys as high owned. I thought somehow it didn't log in there. So hold on, I'll show you. So entire screen. Yeah, I don't know if it made the SaberSim whatever. Here's right from the site. I mean, we're getting Newman at 19%, Hayes at 17%. So I don't know what you were. Anyway,
I'm looking at SaberSim right now.
So it didn't go to SaberSim then. I don't know.
Yeah. It just didn't go to SaberSim apparently. But even still, even with Goldie's projections, which I mean, these are pretty awesome usually, and it's just really weird to see something on like it's impossible that everybody's going to be like 7 to 10% owned, and that's sort of what seems like the industry is saying, and that just can't be right. So one of the interesting ones, like Atlanta, like has great hitting conditions today, and they're going up against obviously Sonny Gray, who's most of the time a really good pitcher, hasn't been as good in his last few outs, but it's really hard to like want to stack against a guy who's I think he's given up 2 or 3 home runs this whole season. I think he's given up 3 this season, and 2 were in his first start. Oh no, 4 all season, and 2 were in his first start. So that was what sort of has taken me a little bit further off of the Braves. I really like the ones I'm stuck on is the Texas, Seattle, and Detroit. I have no problem with the other ones. I do think that this other game that the Orioles would have been high. if this game is probably going to start late, and I think that's going to keep the ownership a little bit. But it's great hitting conditions. It's it's humid at 82 degrees with 11-mile-an-hour winds out to left center, and I think both of these Cincinnati and Baltimore stacks certainly in play. But I just found myself a little bit in the Baltimore side.
Yeah, listen. I want to let's see. I wanted to see this. Yeah, so I'm actually looking now at actually SaberSim. Again, now I'm just kind of hooked on this. So now even on our SaberSim, I do see in the True DFS ownerships that they are high owned. I mean, like.
Oh, it must have updated.
Okay.
Let me try to refresh here and see if I'm getting the same thing. Because
DFS. That's what you were looking at.
Yeah, I was looking at yours and I was looking at Goldie's. That's not what I'm showing.
Are you on the SaberSim here?
Yeah, I'm on SaberSim through us. I honestly don't understand it.
So your screen does not look like. So your screen does not look like my screen.
No. Like for example, you've got Strider at what do you have him at 47? I've got him for you here at 25, 26.
Are you looking at True DFS projection or ownership?
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally
okay.
messed up. I totally messed up there. I just literally
Okay. All right.
Sorry about that. I'm an idiot. But it was that's what was confusing. Okay, God.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Take one weekend off, and this is what happens. They just forget everything.
I'm just glad that I'm not hallucinating. Okay.
I'm glad that it's working. Okay, so this makes a little more sense.
All right.
Okay. And again, it leads me to feel very happy with the stacks that I picked because of the ownership earlier. I was looking at totally the wrong thing, guys. Sorry about that. That's completely my mistake.
Okay.
But that's what I'm sticking with. Is still the Seattle, Texas, and some Detroit as my main ones. Don't mind mixing in Baltimore and the Mets. Trying to avoid a little bit of a fairly chalky Cincinnati. As good as Cincinnati's been, and they've been really good. And this is a team we're going to play going forward. They've got some guys who can actually hit now. It starts with the guy who's the best hitter in baseball, apparently, the Ellie De La Cruz. But I personally don't like playing Cincinnati when they're outside of Cincinnati if I can help it. It's the same to me as playing a Coors stack outside of Coors. So if they're high owned and they're on the road, I almost just always downgrade them no matter what, because they're going to get ownership and their projections. Well, people could say it's baked in what they do at home and what they have. Most of these guys haven't played long enough to have a long road trip, hardly. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at some of the question sheets we've got here. Are the O's and Mets games any weather concern? Teams the Mets one is really not much of a concern at all anymore. I do think that there is, I wouldn't be playing pitchers in the other game. And I think it'll probably play in Baltimore, but if it doesn't, it wouldn't be totally shocking, but it probably plays. But I do feel I'm not playing one-offs from either side of that. How about you, Sheets? How do you treat that one?
With the weather, you mean?
Well, they're probably going to delay the game.
I'm not worried about that one.
You're not worried about it?
I don't think so. Should I be?
It just got downgraded to worse. So
let me just see. Let's see what he said.
If it doesn't start late, that's a real problem.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Late start looks likely. Ugh.
And it's just that there's rain consistently. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So if that storm
it's too short of a slate to just exit, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not there's no one-offs I feel like I have to have from that game. I don't mind.
But this Baltimore itself looks like a big, nice stat. No?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I still feel comfortable stacking them. I just don't necessarily.
Oh, I see. Okay.
With the one-offs, because if it happens, I'm going to be whatever. But yeah, I just want to re-emphasize that I would have been on Atlanta in this hitting weather against almost anybody. But that is my issue with trying to stack against Sonny Gray. You have a guy who actually his control hasn't been as good this year as it has been in the past, but he doesn't give up power, and it's kind of it's kind of less exciting a little bit with the Braves, and they're so expensive. Wouldn't I rather just? And again, we've seen Matt Boyd have some good outings. We might even, he's had 2 really good starts in a row, 3 out of his last 4. So maybe you could make the same argument about stacking Texas as being a mistake. I just am a buyer in this Texas team, and if I'm going to spend up, they're the team I want to do it on. probably the most. I think Seager. The Seager is my lefty home run call for the night. I think he hits one out tonight. I really do.
Seattle. So you like Seattle too, right?
Yeah, I like Seattle.
I like that.
And I'm just not doing the Angels thing. I'm not doing the White Sox, although I am playing some Tim Anderson just because of the price, and I understand that he's been, just horrible this year. But I'm still going to take some shots. Luis Robert is on fire right now, by the way. If you did want to play anybody from that game that was spend up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're obviously better against lefties, so and he's gonna bring the so he's gonna challenge. I don't know. I don't mind playing the White Sox. I like the White. I don't. That total seems low. I don't get that really. But.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were your bets today? You like anything today?
Yeah, I think it was just mostly the overs. My favorite one is probably I like the over in the Texas Detroit game. The problem is I also could see Heaney having a great game, but I do like the over in that one. I like the under in the White Sox and Angels, and I like the over in Washington, Seattle.
Oh my God! So I have a Bet Online account with betonline.ag or whatever, and I logged in the other just to check like MMA props, right? Just for my research.
Right.
Like I immediately got like a phone call on my cell phone. It's like, oh, we see you're logging into the site. Can I help with anything? No, I'm good. Whatever. It's like, we see you haven't really put any action on there. Can I offer you like a bonus? I'm like, sure. So they gave me like 100% like deposit bonus.
Nice.
So yeah. I got some action to spend. So I gotta start going into the hashtag MSL unauthorized posts to see who we like. Those are the MSL picks, I guess. One of the millions of things we need to deal with. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look about something with Atlanta here. I did want to give Atlanta this is the best. They have the highest OPS of anybody against right-handed pitching, and it is. That's why I'm not playing Sonny Gray, but it's a tough team to fit in, and without making some sort of weird sacrifices. Also, it's not their best lineup that they're putting out there today, with no Sean Murphy, who's probably been their second best hitter. But it's still, it's Atlanta. They're a really strong lineup. That's never going to have an issue with it. Their numbers this year are really good against righties. Texas is let me just see something. I'm just looking at season-long numbers here.
I can't believe I'm really going to pay 12.6 for Strider.
How about Atlanta and Texas? It's pretty crazy. They're 1-2 in both against lefties and righties. Strider, by the way, you have every reason to. By the way, if you want to make a play, like if your lineup feels a little bit chalky and you're not playing Strider, just play Max Kepler or something. You know what I mean? Play a bat against him. He gives up home runs, man. A lot of them. Yeah, it's kind of funny because you look at that game and we always want to stack obviously with the hope for home runs. And Strider basically gives up home runs at 3 times the rate that Sonny Gray does, but he's facing it's just such a weak offense that they have out there today.
Is it?
Well, there's no
Buxton's not playing. Oh my God.
So
yeah, I guess I'll just roll with it. I don't know.
I'm still going to be well below it. I have 20% of them on DraftKings, and I have him as my pitcher on FanDuel. That's where I'm going to be with it. And you have a fun. It's a great matchup. It's literally it would be really hard for me to play Castillo and not play Strider also, just because of how good the matchup is for Strider.
And Castillo's going to get 20 minimum. He is.
The only issue is just you have the team that doesn't strike out at all.
No, I know. That's why he's going to get 20 instead of 30.
Right. But he doesn't. Yeah, his strikeouts have sort of come and go too. They're definitely not consistent. But yeah, I hear you. I think he probably.
No, I know, but he'll pitch freaking 100 pitches in 7 innings and give up no runs and maybe 4 or 5 strikeouts.
He'll give up a run or 2, maybe.
You think so?
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, I think
what's their run total? 3.3. Yeah, I guess.
Also, I did want to mention just again about the stacking thing. Like, this is another night where I think it's totally fine to do a 4-4 or 4, more than on a big slate. I just think that these are the kind of ones where it makes a little more sense to do the 4-2-2, the 4-3-1, the 4-4, all that stuff.
That's every night for you, though, right?
No. On the 15, on the big 15, I said it like on Friday. I was talking about it, and I was like, no, I'm just not going to make any 4-man stacks today. It just depends on the day for the most part.
What odds can I get on the Castillo shutout here? Let's see.
Castillo shutout? You mean he's going to?
I think he's going to give up no runs. How about that? Let's see what I can do.
Well, but you won't be able to bet him for a shutout though, unless he pitches.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. What can I get? Let's see. Let me share this.
All right, let's see.
Let's just see, just for the hell of it, what kind of action they put out here. All right, so pitcher props. There you go. Luis Castillo. What is this? A number of outs? Is that what it is? 16.5? Is that what this means? Outs recorded 18.5 to record a win. He's minus 115 to record a win.
How is he minus 115 only? That's weird, don't you think?
I mean, what the hell?
How is that possible, really?
They think that, I guess they think.
How can Trevor Williams be plus 230 and he be minus 115?
They don't think that maybe it'll be 0-0 after 5 and he doesn't get the win or somehow?
Just seems like a strange line.
Yeah, here's the one that concerns me. Maybe Castillo over 1.5 walks. That's where I would be concerned. Let's see.
The only thing is you have a team that doesn't walk at all.
Oh, they will. Earned runs under 1.5 plus 115. Well, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to take the win.
Wait, yeah.
I could play Castillo under 1.5 runs plus 115.
No, just take if I were you, I would play the win there if that was the.
Or I could play yes to get the win minus 115. You are relying on Seattle scoring, but they're not going to score anything on Trevor Williams. Is that what's going to happen?
I mean, I hope not because I'm playing them. I really hope that's not what happens.
No, so I can't. So what I got to do is I got to bet it on. I got to put it on my free play. I got to make sure betonline.ag has that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting. It's an interesting. I like I've had. I think Monday has been my best profitable day of the MLB season. I always have a good Monday. It seems like, but partly these small slates. I just think there's room to get a little bit creative, and it really can't be wrong on the big slates. There's just so much more variance. I think that there's. I don't know. I like these. I like the way these small ones have been playing. There's some cheap bats I was going to throw out there that in case people are looking at for them. Vogelbach, Aaron Hicks. He's batting cleanup for Baltimore today, by the way, so that's the easy part of the stack, I guess. Mike Ford, I'm using in my Seattle stacks at 2.1. This guy has tremendous power. If he could actually just not strike out like 70% of the time, he might be. He's hit 6 home runs in 48 bats this year. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't think he has any other hits. Like, it's like home run or bust. It's weird to see Kalenic down there at the bottom of the order. So it is a kind of an interesting stack to build, but I actually kind of like the bottom of the stack of Seattle, the bottom end of it. And Colton Wong finally hit a home run the other day, stopping himself from getting Josh Donaldson down to the DFA'd or whatever. Because people have been asking for him to get put down all year. All right, guys, pop in any other questions or thoughts. I'm going to finish up the leftovers of my builds. This is waiting for lineups. I was sort of expecting some more shaky, like some more strange Monday lineups, and we just didn't get that many of them today. It was pretty standard for most of these teams.
Yeah, I still don't know what I'm going to do. I probably should just listen, what's been working is just putting my projections in, making a few little tweaks, and let Saberson just kind of guide me towards my thing. And now I'm sitting here saying, okay, I just feel like Xing out Strider and Verlander because I'm just so smart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Oh, so Grandal is out. I wasn't aware of that.
Who?
Grandal for the White Sox?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing though, because you don't want him against lefties.
Oh, I keep forgetting. Remember that? I always forget
Yeah.
which one.
Yeah, for power, you don't want him against lefties. But I guess for power, you may just not want him in general anymore. But
so who's in instead? Oh, Clint Frazier.
Zavala.
Oh, but Frazier's in too. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a lefty, so they're playing Frazier.
Savali, you said, is in?
Zavala.
I don't see him. Okay.
The catcher.
No, I know that, but
yeah, he's 2.1 ZAV.
ZAV. Okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty good actually. I like him.
I mean, he's had some pop in the past. Like, he doesn't get that many at bats, so it's harder to know. But like, yeah, throw him into if you're playing a White Sox stack. Sure, why not? Any other questions or thoughts, guys? Let's see.
Who does Eric Johnson like? I just want to play what he wants. What does he want to play?
I don't know if he's in there.
No, he's not.
No, it seems like he's not in there today. I don't know. The A's aren't on the board, so maybe he just takes the day off when the A's aren't playing.
Yes, no, he's not. I saw him in a couple of other places.
Oh, he was in a couple of the other ones.
Once again, Verlander.
I'll tell you exactly what he's saying to do. He's probably saying to stack Minnesota or something.
No, it's yeah. That's what I figured. Something like that. That makes sense.
Just whatever the one makes the least sense is the stack.
No, I mean it's listen. I like the sentiment. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, if you're gonna miss on these things, it's better doing that than just playing the teams that are 30% every day. You know.
Do you like any Sonny Gray or no?
Not really. I thought about it, but I just don't see any reason to pay that. Like if he was like 7K or something, sure, I would take a shot. But I mean, the guy hasn't put up more than 15 fantasy points in months. Well, in a month, almost a month and a half.
You like Atlanta on the other side?
Atlanta, that's what I talked about before. I just have less of it. That I think the field will be more on that. Just it's really good hitting conditions. It's just the gray. Gray doesn't give up much power and is actually. I mean, he has looked bad his last couple times out for what it's worth, but I don't think he's a bad pitcher. Clay's asking probably for your mini stack of the day because he usually wants your take, but I don't know what that means. Your mini. I don't. There's not.
I don't know. It doesn't work. That doesn't work that way with me.
Yeah, I've never had it work that way either. I like some mini stack. I like Texas. I like Detroit as a mini stack for value. But usually my stack teams are going to be my mini stack teams also.
Castillo looks reasonable. I like your Kepler idea, by the way.
Yeah, if you're going to take a shot, right? Like, why not take a crack at Strider if you're not playing him?
Yeah, so just so you guys know what I'm doing. I mean, this is true transparency. You probably shouldn't do this, but
you're going Detroit.
No. I am Xing out Strider and Verlander.
All right.
That's just
That's a thing. That's something.
It's gonna be what it is. I don't know. What can I tell you?
See, if I was going to do that, I think I would just go the extra mile and maybe do Castillo also. But then you're starting to run out of pitchers.
I X out all pitchers.
No pitchers.
No pitchers, just relievers. That's it.
The 4K relievers. The sheets.
And by the way, I don't think that Colin Ray is necessarily a bad play. By the way,
I actually agree with that. I mean, look at that. We've seen the Mets struggle all year long. Like it's not like it can be that bad. What are the Mets? Very, very average. I mean, yeah, you could play Colin. You could talk yourself into Colin Ray, I think, and you could talk yourself into Trevor Williams. But I'm personally just not doing it. The one that's kind of interesting that I would have considered actually too was I think actually Cole Irvin would have been in consideration for me as well if I was gonna go really low, just because I just don't like. That's why I'm playing Heaney and Cease. I really feel like, even Strider has to get so many points if your bats get there. You know what I mean?
So many points.
He's so expensive. It's not like we're talking about a 10K guy versus an 8K guy. It's a 12-6 guy. You know what I mean? It's a whole different price tier. And he's looked borderline human,
Almost.
almost human. He definitely gives up those home runs. I've always thought it was a really good sign for modern day pitchers. Like, you want pitchers that give up home runs, like as real pitchers, because that's actually a sign of quality pitching, in my opinion. Oh, so Moustakas is on the Angels. I must have missed something. I didn't realize he was even on the Angels now.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Who do you like? Who do you like the catcher today? Who do you like a catcher today?
Catcher, I like the entire Texas-Seattle game. I like both catchers for Texas, and then I like
Raleigh's always kind of the nuts.
Yeah, if you can afford him, Rushman would be the answer, I guess. But I like that Cal Raleigh. And he's batting fifth today too, which is nice.
Well, who else is a good Seattle? Colton Wong. Can you play him hitting the 9 hole at 2,500?
You can play it. Yeah, you can if you're playing a Seattle stack for sure. Let's see. I actually have yeah. I think it's fine. I mean, he's been terrible, but he finally hit a home run the other day, so you feel a little bit better about him. Oh. All right. Looks like the questions are drying up. I'm probably going to go just to finish my builds, unless there's anything else you want to go over.
No, this is good.
All right. Cool. Thanks for this morning. Sorry about that. It was like a last minute thing. But I'll be around this week, and let's make some money tonight, guys. I'll be in Discord if anybody's got any thoughts or questions or anything like that coming up. Good luck, everybody.